Good afternoon from here at the Onega Historical Museum. Today we have Dale Figge with us, who built this diorama of agriculture through the decades, and he is here to explain how he went about building this diorama and what is unique about each decade in agriculture. So, Dale?
Well, so to speak, it was my lifetime. I can remember when I helped Dad and my uncles put up loose hay here, and I wasn't big enough to do it myself, but I was around it and can remember it. And anyway, the different ways of putting up hay through actually my lifetime now, because I was a small kid here, is the loose hay, then the square bales over there, and then the small or big round bales, and then the big square bales. How things have changed from when I was a kid to today. And it's just like here was a little outhouse, and over there would have been a lateral field, and there and here all three of these places. But how things have changed, and heating with wood here, and some wood over there. Some would have been propane maybe the last of those years, and then it was completely propane here. And with the wind charger here, might have been electric heat there and the solar power. And then the things here too is the wooden shingles here on these buildings at that time was the way it went. And then over there on that house would have been rolled roofing maybe. And then over here would have been asphalt shingles and tin on the sheds here. And then, like I say, over here would have been a solar panel on part of the house to charge electricity there. And then two is this would have been mail delivered by horse and wagon. By the time you got over here, would have been cars and mailboxes, and the other two places would have been the same. And then here for water was a windmill, and then over there would have been a drilled well for water. Then over here would have been a water district, maybe for both of these, and your water tower. And then also point out that at that generation of time, they had the wind charger, which was 32 volts.
So what kind of time period are you calling that one? Ish.
This could have been between the 40s and the 50s.
Okay. Yep.
And then, of course, over here was advanced with the windmills today.
Yep.
That put out a lot more electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see, of course, the machinery over here was horse drawn. Your horses here and your wagon. Over there would have been tractors, small tractors. Then over here would have been bigger tractors. And bigger tractors there, and then here have been more bigger equipment, the big semi and the big combine. And different ways, like there was the upright silo they used to fill all the time, and then things have changed over to the bale hay, and just so many things have changed through these 70, 80 some years. And how much change will be in the near future for us, we don't know, but anyway, this is the changes that went on in my lifetime, that we went from a buggy to a car that didn't have air conditioning or power steering, to cars that would have got all the air conditioning and all your gadgets on it, that, and then over to electric car here. And it's just a lot of changes in the world and the way things are done in every respect, or so I don't know if there's too much more to explain, except here you would have put up wood by hand. Over there is a buzzsaw that you'd had a tractor on it. Well, of course, you'd had propane over here and electric over here, so there wouldn't have been any physical there to do. And like over here, the big tractor is would have been a diesel tractor, and the other tractor would have been a gas tractor. And things have changed a lot there, which I don't know if I have much more to say about it, how much things have changed. And that's what I tried to explain, is how many, when I built this, how many changes in my lifetime has been in the way of doing things.
So when did you start making this thing?
Oh, let's see, about 4 years ago.
Oh, really? Well, that's quite
It
a
took
lot of
about
work for
a year and a half to do it.
Wow.
And everything was made out of scrap stuff, and there's a few things I bought. I had this already bought, that horse and mail wagon, but like those little square bales, there's just little chunks of wood I cut out on a saw, and that upright silo was a Pringles can, and that tin shed there, Quonset shed, is made out of 2-gallon buckets, and it's just stuff I had around the house. These round bales are made out of the paper out of a toilet, roll of toilet paper, and I'd have gotten in trouble because I stuffed them full of toilet paper. One time there was a big shortage of toilet paper, and you'd have used it. And these bales of hay are just nothing but wood that I cut out to the size I thought I should have them. And to make them look like they're hay, I went down to my lawnmower and got the fines off the mower deck and kind of run them through a screen. Then I just painted down with Elmer's glue and then packed some grass on it, and so they'd look like a hay bale. And then this four-wheeler is supposed to look like it's got a sprayer on it. And this is a toy that I closed this in on top. That's where they set their little man when the kids was playing.
Oh, yep.
And it had just a little bitty narrow header on it, so I took that header off and built a bigger header to make the fit the combine more. But most of the stuff just came out of just what was ever in the house and my shop.
Yeah.
So if you were to put approximate dates on each quadrant, the first quadrant would probably be,
Oh, probably in the early 1900s. And that would have been before say the 40s and 50s. And this would have been, in the 70s and 80s. And this here would have been
Now.
probably in today's. You'd see all this out there in the world today.
but you don't have your drone.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot more things I could have put on it, but I thought I was doing pretty good. But I mean, if I done it again, there'd be a little bit more details, and there could have been another two scenes, because I didn't go through the steam engine era
Oh, yeah.
when they had steam tractors. And
Do you have steam tractors on your place? Did you have a steam tractor on your place growing up?
no, right before, it'd been more in this era here. And my uncle had one, Dad said, and he's a pretty heavy drinker, and he would put the bottle of whiskey underneath the petcock back there and run hot water off the steamer into that bottle and drink hot whiskey that way. And like I said, over there, milk was 50 cents a gallon at that time.
Yeah.
And how much things have went up, that if you put a price on a lot of this stuff,
And fewer small farms, isn't there?
yeah. As the horsepower went up on tractors, the farmers went down. That I thought when I was a junior and senior in high school, I don't know, we had about 400 acres of row crop and probably 300 acres of alfalfa and prairie hay. I thought I and Dad was cutting a pretty wide swath, but our biggest tractor was 35 horse. And now, there's very few tractors under 100 horse anymore on the farms. And
So about how long did it take you to construct all this?
I think a year and a half. Because this is a bed out of our camper that I junked out. I cut it in half so I could handle it, get it into my back room, and then I knew I'd have to move it when I redone my trailer to haul this in. Because I thought at one time I was going to haul it from different places to different places, and age caught up with me first.
So, approximate what year were you born, so that people understand?
I'm born in 44,
Okay.
and I'll soon be 81 here.
Okay. 4 decades of seeing farming change
Yeah,
and how much it has changed. And it's continuing, it's almost escalating.
nowadays you gotta run around with a veterinary book in one pocket and a chemical book in the other pocket, so you know what you can plant the next year and can't plant
Yeah,
the next year if you rotate.
yeah, what, a seed book in another pocket, a seed book and, you know, yeah.
It's, I wouldn't even begin to know how to farm today with the way things are, that always wanted to farm, but, with things the way they are, I'm glad I didn't get into farming, because,
Well, you've done a wonderful job of showing how farming and agriculture has changed, especially around the farmhouse. And how we have families around here that started back in the 1800s and how they progressed in their own
Yeah.
farmstead.
well, like I said, you could have went several steps more in there. I still got another camper bed at home, but I could have cut in half and added to this another third. At least 2 more steps in the deal, but
I know from yesterday that first graders that were here were totally fascinated by what you have here. So, you know, if you had included more, it might have been too much for the person looking at it, but because they truly enjoy it. And of course, they wanted to touch everything and see how it was made.
yeah. Yeah, I showed it to one of my grandsons, and I can't make the comment on camera what he said about
Okay.
this house.
Well, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to
Well.
come in. Any other questions you have, Deanna?
Okay.
Well, I enjoyed, like I said, that's when I lost my toes on my foot, and I couldn't get around very good.
Mhm.
I done this in the back room, and kept me away from the TV, and now I'm working on whenever I feel like it, my photos from, I got one book from baby up to high school, and then from high school on up to today, and working on that, and I still got a lot of pictures there, and then I got the pictures that I'm putting in a box from the Teskey side that I got. And the other day when Harlan Teskey celebrated his 80th birthday, in his card I sent a picture that I knew they didn't have because Mom took it with our camera. And I've got pictures from in color from the camera that folks bought back in when they got married, that their wedding pictures was taken with.
Wow.
And those pictures cost you $4 and $5 to get developed. I had to take them down to Wolf's in Topeka, and then they took them on to Kansas City to get them developed. And just take them to a normal photograph place, you can't get them. I've got Aunt Susan's second wedding pictures on it, and don't know where to take them to get them developed. But like I said, they made color film for that black and white camera when it came out, and it's one of those that you look through the lens and push the little lever.
Wow.
Are your pictures all labeled?
No,
Can you get them labeled yet?
some of them, a few of them Mom wrote down on them, but I'm adding Craig, we'll get those deals. Then I got a book from Germany that's an artistry book. And when we made that Wheaton history book, the company that done it in Topeka for us, I brought it up to one of our get-togethers at Wheaton up there at Miss Eula's house, and the cover was off of it. And anyway, I took it and showed it to him. He said, "I'll be glad to put a cover on that for you for nothing." You know, we was going to take the contract with him to do those 300 books, and so I got a new cover on it. But I remember I and my two cousins used to go into this second living room up there, Grandpa and Grandma's, and have just a door open, no lights on it. We'd open that book to and scare ourselves, you know, kind of.
Oh, the memories.
Well, when Grandma moved out of the house, she said, "Well, I guess we got everything." And I said, "No, we don't." She said, "Oh, is there something still in here?" And I went in her and Grandpa's bedroom, and there was a board underneath the toe board, underneath the closet, you know, where you hang your clothes, that you could pull out. Reached in there and got that book out. And of course, put the board back in and brought it out. And Grandma said, "I forgot all about that book." And when they tore the house down, if they didn't tear those closets out, that book would have went in the scrap pile.
Yeah.
And my one aunt wanted it pretty bad. Grandma said, "No, you thought about it. You're the one who gets it." So I got that book, which is over 100 years old, and the artistry in it is really different. Then they brought another book from Germany, and we always thought it was a Bible, and it had a lot of stuff in it about the family, and ended up with Bill Figge, lives over in here someplace, had it. His mother had it. So I asked him about it, and he wasn't interested in it. So he said, "Well, if I come across it," he said, "I'll give it to you." So he came across it, and he gave it to me then, because he just doesn't care a thing about that kind of stuff. And so I got that other book from Germany, and the minister at Wheaton there, that he looked at it, and I took it to the retirees, and he said, "This isn't a Bible." He said, "It's a devotion book that every day you read in the morning and in the evenings, back when families were families." And because he said this here at the top, he said, "I could read enough of that I could see it's daily stuff that so to have 365 days in it, I guess." And I was showing that stuff to some of them, and they said, "How'd you get so much Figge stuff?" And so I said, "I don't know, I guess I was just in the right place at the right time."
And was interested in it.
Yeah.
That's important.
One of the things I wish I wouldn't have done, but I thought I was doing my daughter a favor, is Grandpa and Grandma had an old piano that was clear back when my aunts were growing up, and they had it in this living room, what we used for Christmas all the time. Had the Christmas tree there when we get together, and anyway, they had that book in there, our piano in there, and my daughter thought she wanted to take piano lessons. Well, the piano was right across the street from us, from when we was living there in Westmoreland, when Grandma sold the farm and moved down there. And I thought, well, I don't have money to buy a piano, and she wants to learn the piano. And I had a sword that came from Germany. It was used just for decoration at the time when Grandpa and them came over. And it had a leather stabard on it with a brass tip on it where your point was at, and it went to the wayside. Anyway, I said, called my aunt out there in Washington. She said, well, her son was really supposed to get that sword. I said, well, I just cleaned it up and fixed a piece that was broke on it. And Grandpa said I could have it. And she said, I'll trade you that piano for that sword. And I thought, well, I can do this for my daughter. And then we found out when we were going to have it tuned up, it wasn't any good anymore. The big A-frame or frame in there that holds all your wires was broke.
Yeah.
And it was a cheap enough piano that it wasn't worth fixing up. And so I ended up just giving it to my one nephew. And I don't know, he thought maybe he could fix it. And he ended up tearing it apart and throwing it away.
And you lost your sword.
And I lost my sword.
Well, Deanna, you probably need to,
Okay, whatever. Are we good?
But, see, you got my,
Seed cleaner?
seed cleaner.
You know what? You want to get a little clip on him?
Yeah, you want to talk about your seed cleaner?
That was refurbished by
Well, it was
Wiesenthal, I think.
left out there on Rodney Wiesenthal's farm.
But I think I hear noises, so we're going to go check on when you get that.
Okay.
And he knew I was in to restoring some of this stuff, and so it was, there were a lot of boards I had to make on it. It was busted up, and so they got my picture here on it. And that's the kind of seed company. But I've got more stuff over there that, I don't know, corn shellers and stuff that I thought about giving them to the museum, but look like they're pretty well filled up. But anyway,